Hello, hello. Just give me a moment to pull you up on the other screen. Hope everybody's doing good today. Happy Sunday. Come on, little fella. All right, we are up on the screen. Yes. 2 thumbs up so far. Happy Sunday, one and all. We'll do a little bit of housekeeping before we start so that you guys are aware of what's going on. Scrap and Stamp is doing their 12 days of Christmas, and there's all kinds of amazing deals going on. Each day, a new product line goes on sale, and we have some fabulous price cuts, 25% off. So today, Photoplay products are 25% off, and that includes all different kinds of things, paper packs, stamps, dies, etc., etc. So for day 1, we had, I believe it was Craft Consortium. Day 2 is Penny Black. Today being day 3 is Photoplay. So those 3 companies are currently on sale in the shop. Make sure that you check out everything there because you're going to get some amazing deals. So, plus, with celebrating, we are also doing a giveaway. And today's giveaway is all about, of course, Photoplay. And today's prize, and you will have a chance to win the Winter Memories stamp and die set for your very own. And all you have to do to win is leave a comment, whether it be live or on the video replay today, telling me where is your favorite place to go during the winter. And that could be anywhere. It could be indoors or outdoors. That's what I need to know, is leave a comment telling me where your favorite place is to be during the winter. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for coming. Today, we're going to be playing with pattern paper because me, I am a confessed pattern paper hoarder. It's so pretty. I like to pet it. I don't know about you guys, but I like just the whole process of just flipping through and going, ooh, ah, and just seeing what kind of patterns companies have come up with. And Photoplay is one of the best ones, I tell you. They have some amazing pattern papers in both 12x12 and 6x6. So today we're going to play with our 6x6 paper pad, and I'm going to show you how to use up all those like scraps. I'm not sure how you guys store yours, but I like to store mine with the rest of the paper pad. Sometimes if it's a 12x12, I actually make like a pocket in the front of the pack, and I slip all my pieces in there. Like, just take a piece of copy paper and make yourself a pocket and stick them in. Sometimes I do that with my 6x6 too. And then sometimes I just sandwich them in. So, I mean, we're all left with like these pieces, right? And it's like, well, you know, they're not quite a card base size. How else can I use them? So today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to use some of these pieces because, you know, let's use our scraps up and make something pretty. So I'm going to also incorporate our cute little stamp and die set along with our paper pack. And we're going to do some fun pattern paper work-ins. All right. So to begin with, I'm going to kind of start off with your standard A2 sized piece of paper. This can be literally any piece of paper. This could be a piece of copy paper. Something lightweight. It does not have to be heavy duty cardstock. It could be a scrap that maybe you've doodled on. It's like, well, I can't use that on my card. Well, let's use it up, and we'll use it as our kind of like our gluing base to do our pattern paper mesh. Okay. So before we start developing our own pattern paper, let's set this aside and let's make some paper strips using our scraps. So, the one thing today too is I'm also going to be giving away probably 3 or 4 cards to lucky commenters today. I have a couple of samples and a couple of more samples of cards to give away. So on today's live, I think I'll give away 4 cards. So all you have to do to win one of those is be present during the live and comment away. And 4 lucky winners will win a card from me. All right. So, of course, pattern paper in this case is double-sided. Yeehaw! This just makes it that much more exciting. So, with my initial examples, let me pull out one that's got lots. All of my strips were exactly the same size. They're all 1/2 inch thick. And that's fabulous. But what if you only have a couple of pieces or a couple of strips? Well, let's remedy that by saying that today's cards are going to be using strips of paper that are completely random. I'm just going to make sure that they're straight. And we're literally just going to randomly cut sizes, thick, thin, and just let the magic of the paper work in its favor. So again, so we get two different patterns. Let's do one more piece. I really love that little red stripe, don't you? One of my favorites. And don't forget to put a few neutrals. Like this one, I would consider like a neutral pattern paper because it's like a tone on tone. So they're very, very helpful. And don't worry about the edges. Like this is pulled out of the paper pack and not edged, like cut off. Don't worry about it because we'll just use it as a shorter aspect. And again, I'm just going to randomly do some thick, thin. I'm just making sure my lines are straight and yeah. Okay. And this one again has another pattern on the other side, so it can be utilized both sides. Yay for that. Hi Wiley, how are you? So glad that you could join us today. We are making some fun cards using some pattern paper ideas today, so welcome. And I was saying earlier, I'm going to be giving away 4 cards today during our live. So if you'd like one of those, feel free to comment all throughout the live. And here we go. We are doing more pattern papers from our photo play pack today. And I'm just randomly doing some fat, some thin, some super skinny. That's the fun part of using up your scraps. You know, you just get to have fun. I mean, look at this beautiful one. This one has some really nice sprigs and boughs. And this is such a delicious color. Like, sign me up. I love that they don't always go traditional. And I love this blue, this tealy, rich blue. And it can totally be an awesome accent. So I'm going to do a few extra strips of this one. Now, in pattern paper packs, you might run into this, right? This is one of those pages where you might cut apart, but that's okay. If you've got a pattern paper or something on the other side, you're all set because you don't necessarily have to use the other side. Hi, Wanda. Yes, I know, Sandy. I was like, oh, I just want them, all my pattern paper strips to match. And I'm like, but why? As long as they're straight, right? So this is a very busy pattern. But the thing with this pattern paper is that it brings all of those colors into play. And it has a beautiful green on the back. So, you know, we'll do an extra couple. I like the solids because it lets your eye rest a little bit. And there again, there's another one of your cut apart papers. So, I mean, you could try and use it as part of your pattern paper. I mean, this strip, obviously you could do that. But, I mean, it's such pretty paper on the other side, doesn't matter. So, yeah, I'm just randomly cutting strips. So, pull out all the pieces of pattern paper that you have that you already cut into. and use them up and just go cutting happy, right? I think there's a couple more in here that we can probably grab. Like, this one's pretty with the multicolored snowflakes, but it has a solid on the back, so it's gonna always be useful. So, yay. Yay for pattern paper. And again, just go random. Ta-da! Okay. Now, this is the secret. I shall share thy secret with you. I know, I am such a matchy-matchy person, and everything has to be, like, centered, and I really have to get out of my head. And that's kind of what I want to promote to you guys, too. That, sometimes we think alike. Like, you might think the same as me, and sometimes I just have to get out of my head for creating purposes. Okay, there are easier ways to do this, let me tell you. Okay, you can get the adhesive sheets. Scorpal makes some adhesive sheets that are quite large, and you could definitely use that as a backer. You know, like they're very, very wide. I probably have some around, but I don't know where they are. But I wanted to show you how us normal people would do this. Just use tape runner, okay? I highly recommend this over glue. You could do it with wet adhesive, but I think this works better. So I typically go all the way to the edge. Okay, so I'm going down all four sides of my lightweight, could be a scrap, could be from your printer, like an off print. Anything you can use as a backer, because this you're never going to see. We're going to completely cover it, so don't worry about it. Use a scrap. Okay, now, because a lot of my strips we're going to do on the diagonal, so if you go and just put lines up your card, for the most part, as long as you've got those edges, everything else is going to stay stuck. And this doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, because nobody's gonna see it. Okay, and this is where the fun comes. Okay, pick your favorite. So I really, really love this. So we're gonna start with this little fella. Hi, Teresa. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in and joining me today. Earlier, I was saying that if you comment, I'm giving away 4 cards today. Yes, 4. So if you'd like to receive a card, just keep commenting on the live today. And we're just playing with paper. We're just having fun. And then we'll make a couple of cards. Okay. Now, my philosophy is that I don't like to repeat a pattern paper. Like, I don't want to put a blue next to a blue. Mix up your patterns. So this is where you get to have fun. Okay. Now, tape runner is pretty forgiving. And don't worry about covering up the edges, because we are going to trim this, so don't worry. This is all about just getting them down and stuck. Okay? All right. So I'm just picking things here, and I try to mix up my patterns too. Like, for instance, I would never put this stripe next to this one because they're too similar in pattern, and it just wouldn't show up properly. So find something a little different. Maybe a non-stripe, if I can find one. Okay. Like this pretty green one. This one has like a tone and tone, little kind of spriggies on it. And I'm just continuing to fall towards the corner there. And of course, mix and match those patterns. And as long as you butt them up against each other, you're good. Things will be surprisingly good. All right, let's put in a little bit of that cute little plaid. And again, I'm mixing up the widths too, so let's put something skinny if we can. Oh, there's a tiny little blue one. And we'll lay that one down. I have a vocal doppelganger on it. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that. I've heard doppelganger as in a person doppelganger, but never a vocal one. Okay, well, we're going to put this pretty little stripe down. And again, all these strips that are hanging off, see? They can all be cut off and used to do like the little teeny parts. So you could do all like the fat pieces and leave your corners to do later, and then just use your trimmings. Okay. We need a red out there, don't we? This red looks nice. Okay. And again, I'm just filling things in. And don't forget to flip things over just in case, like, oh, like there's a cute little Santa on this one. I want to kind of do something that's a little thicker to almost get us out past that corner. And of course, you can always cut. Oh, there, that's perfect. That just makes it easier. You're not going to have like a little wiener piece at the end. Okay. Hi, Nora. Yes. Well, Sandy, you never know what's on the other side, right? Because I don't remember what's on the other side of each pattern. Okay. So you can absolutely continue to travel down the same trajectory, but let's throw a loop in this one. Okay. So I'm going to T-bone my design here. Okay, so I'm going to take a nice long strip and we're going to tee it. See how we've teed this one? This just adds to our design, right? Okay, just give me 1 second here. I just have to refresh my page. I got things dropping out of the sky. Okay. So this is how you can mix up everything. Just change up your design. I mean, we could go 2 or 3 that are kind of teed to this and then go back to the diagonal. You can do whatever you want. The beauty of having strips is that for the most part, as long as you've cut them relatively straight, you're good to go. So, yeah. So again, I am checking to see what's on the other side because, you know, things kind of get flipped in your pile. Yep. So, and some things kind of seem to hide too. Whee! We need some little babies in here, like this little baby. He's so cute. There we go. So cute. Oh, and we have to use this pretty blue. I forgot about this one. There's pretty snowflakes on the other side, but let's put this blue in here too. So this is the beauty of making your own papers, right? Oh, see that one is kind of hard to use because that way it's cut. Let's go back to our... Oh, did you hear that? Oh, he's swearing too. Uh-oh. He's mad. My son is literally in the basement right below me here. Okay. Oh, that's... Oh, yeah, that's the one with the Santa on it. And sometimes they don't work. Like, thankfully, like, we got a whole head, and his head's kind of cut off there. But, oh, well. You know, it's the way it goes. Some papers are very directional, like if they have words and things like on them. But that is a personal call, whether you use them or not. Let's put this fun plaid. And I'm just using my nails just to kind of butt up the corners and make sure that everything's good. Oh, let's use this pretty green again. Oh, he's yelling. Okay, let's use some more of that pretty blue up here. Oop. And again, it's a little bit finicky, but for the most part, you know, as long as you've got enough adhesive down, things go pretty fast and you just get to have fun playing. We need to put in, there we go, oops. So just use your fingers or your pick or your scissors or whatever you're comfortable with. Putting that down. And I want something relatively large. I want it to go all the way across, because it just makes it easier. The bigger that final piece is, the less risk you have of it popping out on you. Okay, so let's go and trim before we finish this corner, because I can use the cutoff pieces to do the short bands. Okay. Hello, Linda. Yes, see, I have packs and packs and packs of pattern paper, and I'm such a hoarder in that respect, but they're so pretty that I've been telling myself, Allison, you gotta use these up, because, you know, somebody else is going to appreciate their beauty too. So I've flipped over my piece because I know my base piece is square. So I'm using it kind of like, almost like my stencil to cut everything, right? Okay, now we're going to cut down. Whee! Oh, we're caught on the bottom. Okay, now this might be interesting to try and get straight, because I'm not 100% sure. Come on, little fella. I'm just lining it up on the other side here and praying that everything's... I've got a little bit of adhesive, so it's kind of sticking to my trimmer. Oops. Okay. Trimmity trim, trim, trim. And our last final trim of the day for this one. There. So like I was saying before, you could continue this way. And let's do that. Let's use these scraps and do just that. I mean, let's put this one in here. This guy has the Santa, but for the most part, it's going to be cut off, and that's okay. So use all these fun pieces that are now shorter. You're going to have to make sure that they have a square end, but that's okay. Can definitely do that. I don't want to put a stripe next to a stripe. That's just me. I'm weird that way. We will put kind of that tone-on-tone green next to that, and then we can put a stripe. So you could have fun. You could have like a couple of strips here, and then can go completely this way again. Like, you'd have lots of fun with this technique. Because this is kind of like a, I'm going to sit and watch TV, and this would be a great project to do. Okay, this needs a really fat piece. So you know what? Instead of putting two smaller pieces, let's find a fun pattern paper. This one looks good. And let's cut a fat piece for this. And this will just make your job so much easier. So much easier. Ha ha ha. Okay. There. And then when I trim, that is 100% going to stay in its spot. Now, you can absolutely use your scissors. You don't have to use a trimmer. So, just slide it in there, or use your scissors, whatever you're most comfortable with, and whatever tool you have. If you don't have a trimmer, then yeah, I get it. There. Ha ha ha. Okay. Isn't that neat? And of course, this really isn't too directional, so if you decided to spin it, I mean, Santa might be upside down. But if you're okay with that. Yep, so you could use it any direction. If we had not used Santa, which is pretty much the only directional thing, there are some pieces of ornaments, but they're not as obvious as a face. So, yes. But there. So you could use this completely the way it is, too. So you could put on your critter, your large sentiment, that kind of thing. But I want to show you how to make 2 out of 1. Let's go and make one more backer piece. Because we have so many scraps here, let's use them up. Okay, so again, I'm just taking that lightweight cardstock. You can use copy paper, whatever floats your boat, whatever you got on hand. I'm going around all of those edges. Edges are key, for sure. And then we're just going to do our bands all the way up. And really and honestly, it's not that much adhesive in the long run. Okay, so we're going to start with our larger pieces because we need to do that span. And you can change your angle. It doesn't have to be on an angle. You could do crossways. There's one thing though, is that if you're going to do it in a straight manner, you're going to have to make sure that your pieces are cut straight and that you start on a straight line. So I would start at the bottom or the top and do that, because you risk, if you want everything to be 90 degrees or perpendicular, it's hard to maintain that all the way up. So if you go, well, I'm just going to throw out the 90-degree corner, then you don't have to worry about it. So let's change our angle just slightly and go a little less steep and go from there. Okay, what do we got here? I don't know if this will span across. Oh, it might just. Yes, yes. There we go. And I love this blue. We didn't have enough of it on the other card. So, there we go. Beauty foul. We need some red. Yes, festive, festive. So again, I'm giving away 4 cards today. All you have to do is leave a comment or 2 or 5 on the live today. And as soon as we're done, I will post a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'm looking for a funky print. Okay. This one's pretty with all the evergreen pieces on it. They've incorporated both that light green and that beautiful teal. It's stunning. Okay. Now, let's go and do a diagonal this time. So, I'm just trying to predict what I can put in this space here. We're going to go to all like the cut pieces that are off to the side here. Now the one thing with having offcuts is that sometimes you're going to get angles. See how this is not a right angle? So it's going to be a pain, right? Because it's not a right angle. It's not going to fit there. So you can take your scissors or your trimmer and trim that up. So if you want to use it, you know, just butt it against your trimmer. And now it's 90. So you just solved your problem. And you've only cut off like, look, like that much, right? Ooh. To the garbage or the recycle bin you go. So I love this. I can't get over the gorgeous colors in this pattern paper. This is still in the store. I believe it is in a 12 by 12 format. And you could do this with 12 by 12 paper too. Like absolutely. Hi, Terry. And this one, of course, we're just going to need to doctor a little. Make it square. I'm just trying to make sure that I butt it up. There we go. So, like I said, I'm trying to use up our scrappies. Because we might as well on this part where there's very little real estate. Yeah. Will that fit? Nope, not quite. Need something just a little bit longer. Really don't want to use a Santa face, because then we can rotate that card. Sorry, I'm reaching over here to look for pieces that will fit it. Now this might fit. I got jumping beans. Yes. So like grab your 12 by 12, especially if like you're a scrapbooker and you use them on your layouts. Great way to get rid of pattern paper pieces, right? So you're just having fun. It's like paper piecing, right? Okay. Now we've got quite a long piece, but I want to get rid of it all. So I think we're going to have to cut another fat piece because I think it's just in our best interest. And fat piece it is. It'll just help solve that problem just quicker. There. See? And it completely covered the rest. So another way you can use scraps is do this, right? You could prematurely cut this and go, I'm just making it obvious that it's not square. Okay, so let's use this big fat piece. And we'll go down here. And see how we've changed up the pattern? We've gone from this way to perpendicular again. And we got all these beautiful little pieces over here. Okay, what's underneath? Ooh, that one's kind of cute. Look at that one. It's one of our mini winnies. Okay. We'll do another stripe on the other side of that large green. Ta-da! And we want to use that beautiful blue. And I can't resist using this stunning tealy blue because yay, makes me happy. And we need some of this cute stripe, so I'm going to go in and doctor a piece so that it's perpendicular. Yeehaw. There we go. Oh, I'm sticking it to my finger. Sorry. It's flying off my desk. Okay, what do we got? We need this little fella. Whee! Well, the nice thing is that all you have to do is cut strips, right? It's the beauty of the project being that they don't have to be even. They just have to be relatively straight, right? And if you have pieces that are all like angular on the end, then just completely go down to the bottom, whereas you don't need a straight edge. If you went and did completely all diagonal down the completed piece of paper, then you don't even have to worry about trimming pieces to a right angle. Okay, so just a great way to have fun. I mean, your kids could do this with you, or your grandkids. I mean, this would be such a fun and relatively easy project. Just sit them all down, give them a pile of coordinating scraps and say, here's your base. Let's put some tape down and away you go. Have fun. Right? It's the beauty of this. And then, of course, you know, show them that they can make different patterns with it. Because that's part of the fun, right? Of creating. Sorry, I'm just looking for pieces here. Okay. Weed through my garbage. Okay, we'll put some greenery next to this one. See how we're getting down to a fairly fat piece there? So we could go in and we could use, oh, maybe I'll go blue. Use one of our thin ones to widen that gap down. And then what do we got over here? I'm just trying to think, will this fit if I doctor it? Okay, I can, and it will fit. So I'll just cut it down to our beloved 90-degree angle. And ta-da! And now all we have to do is trim. And look, I really don't have that much for scraps left over. And I did 2 full pieces. Right? Okay, so let's go trim this over. So again, I flipped it over because the paper on the back is my guideline. I just have to line it up with my trimming edge here. There. And then once you have like a clean edge, it's so much easier because then you can line it up a lot more easily with the other side. So the good thing about this too is that you could pull out all of like your older Christmas pattern papers, maybe that have been discontinued, that kind of thing. And this could be a great project for just an afternoon with your kids or your grandkids or kids at school if you're a teacher. Making your own pattern paper. Okay, give me a second here. We're almost done with our sheets. Ba-ba-da-da. Okay, so, I mean, yes, they're scraps, but there's not that many. So, again, you could keep some of these. Like, some of the longer ones would be definitely, you could keep and put them back in your stash. But for the most part, you know, you're done. Color done. Okay. So, now, what do you do with these? Well, that's where you get creative. So, for instance, you could cut it down so that you have a mat around your card base and put a simple character and a band. Call it done. Right? There's one card. Okay. So again, do the same thing. See? Just angular. That's it. 2 examples there. But what if we take it and make each base into 2 cards? So for instance, if you look, see the circle on this side? It came from this one. So I made 2 cards using 1 backer piece, right? It's 2 for 1. I mean, how can you go wrong? Especially if you're wanting more cards for all the work that you did. It's a great way to do this. So grab your circle dies or your oval dies or your square dies and have some fun. So I'm going to grab just some random circle dies. These are just happen to be my Catherine Proler ones. And you're going to find whichever particular one, and of course you can play, right? Maybe you want this upside down. And we're going to cut some kind of cutout on it. And of course you could do here, like I did on this set, right? Because the other piece is going to be used on your card. So find a happy place. Use some temporary pieces for that. And then on our other one, let's see. I'm just going to use a favorite rectangle shape. And this doesn't have to be in the middle. It doesn't have to be centered. Let's do something like, how about there? That kind of speaks to me today. So you're just going to use it just like any other normal piece of pattern paper, okay? All right, I am going to, 1 second, clean off my desk for 2 seconds because we're just going to have this act like confetti all over the floor. Okay. Bring in said Mr. Big Shot. And we're going to cut our panel. I'll just lay that down there for a moment and put our other panel in. Da, 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 da. Okay. Beautimus. Beautimus. Okay. And then we have to fold out of each one. Now the beauty of using a copy paper or a thinner cardstock is that your dies are going to go through them that much more easily. Using a lighter weight backer. And we just have to peel off the tape. and remove our die and our piece. Okay, so, you know, use your favorite shape. If you have ovals, use those. So here are our pieces. So now we have two-fold cards, or at least the beginnings of two-fold. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to grab a card base. I know I have one here somewhere. Okay, so let's do this one. Let me set these aside. So we can put it any which way we want, right? Now, Santa is relatively upright, so maybe we will do it there. I'm just going to use my good old tape runner. Now, the neat part about this one is that it could absolutely become a shaker card, right? If you back this window with some acetate and then bump it up a little bit with some three-dimensional foam tape, this could very easily become a shaker card because you've got that window there and you've got a frame all the way around it. Not like this one, like there's a broken part, right? It would be hard to make a window shaker from that one. But this would make a neat window card. Shaker card, excuse me. Now, let's add something to this. Yes, the 2-from-1 plan, right? It just makes a lot of sense. Okay, we're going to bring in my Misty, and we are going to use our super duper cute, where did I put them? Here are the dies, where are the stamps? Here they are. Okay. So in this case, we want to use probably the bear, and I'm just going to grab a sheet of cardstock to stamp on here. We're just using good old white. You know how it is, standard good old white cardstock. Okay. So I'm going to fill this sheet with the images that we're going to use today. So we're going to use our deer too, and they have the cutest little bird. Can't get over how cute this bird is. Okay, I'm just spacing them out well. Here, you can go there, Mr. Magnet. Okay, now, we've put a lot of work into getting our pattern paper piece, right? Okay, fair enough. To make this card more of a thing where you might want to do multiples, we're just going to stamp in a corresponding colored ink. We're going to make it that easy. So Catherine Pooler Rouge, Spruce, and Uptown work really well with this pattern paper. So I'm going to do a Uptown or a Blue Bear. Making sure that he's all cute and inked up. Perfect. We have a little bit more of ink needed on the pom-pom on his hat. There we go. Done. Like, that's it. Don't need to have fancy schmancy cards. And if you're not a colorist and you have all these beautiful line art stamps, it's okay not to color. Just use a corresponding colored ink and it'll look like it went all along. So I love the little bird in red. So we're going to use our rouge with our little birdie. He is so cute. Cute bird. And I just want to make sure that they're nice and crisp. So I'm doing double duty, even though my ink pad is fairly juicy. But all right. Here we go. And do a little wipe down of him. And then we'll use spruce ink for our little deer, because it matches really well with the green tone in our paper today. So you could have this set up in your stamping tool and just whip in your cardstock. Oh, I'm gonna have to stamp our little birdie again. He got moist. The ink looks weird. Okay, see, this happens to us seasoned stampers too. So I'm going back to my rouge. Yes, you could absolutely go in and just do color in their clothing, their scarves, or their hats. And keep it like super simple and not even worry about like a 2-color blend or anything fancy schmancy. Just go in and color it the same color. Or you could even pattern piece it or paper piece it using some of the pattern paper from the kit, from your paper pack. Okay. All right. We're bringing in the big guns. We're bringing in the matching dies. So for today's giveaway for day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas, we are giving away this very stamp set and this very die set. So at the beginning of the video, I asked you to leave a comment saying where you like to spend your winter days. Is it inside, outside, somewhere special? Do you go on a holiday in the winter time with your family? All you have to do is comment your answer below the video, whether it be live or on our replay. Just make sure you leave an answer to that question, and you too could win the stamp set and die set that we're using today. So yeah, fun, fun, fun. And don't forget to check out all the rest of the sales, because Photoplay is on today for 25% off. And that includes, you know, papers, dies, stamps, you name it. There's only a few restrictions, I think, but you just have to check out the Photoplay gallery, and everything that's on sale is clearly marked. And there we go. Beauteous. This is just a photo thing from the dollar store. So my dies don't walk away. You know, when some of the dies are quite piddly, so they like to walk off the desk. So just while I'm working, you can just throw them on the photo mat there. And I know that I'm going to find them all on my desk at some point. Okay. We have all of these. We'll put it off to the side. And now we have cutie patooties. Okay. So this is where you get to have fun. You can play around with whatever you want. You could put more than one of these on. Like the bird's fairly small, so you could put a bird and deer, or a bear and a bird, and kind of whatever floats your boat. So, and again, cards don't have to be ornate or colored, or just you do you. You don't have to pop this up. Just use good old wet glue. It just lessens the risk of the card getting smished in the mail. So I'm just going to use Barely Arts glue, my favorite, because of the fine tip applicator. And yes, this is in the shop. And I'm going to have to stick my needle through there, but that's okay. Okay, I am going to stick him up a little bit in our void. Okay, because I am going to stamp on a greeting. Because you want to make this a complete card. Okay, I'm going to bring in my other. I have 2 of these. Yes, I know. You don't need 2. But I do this every day. I create every day. So there are some tools that I have multiples of. Because it's just easier. Okay, so this has Thinking of You, Warm Winter Wishes, Your Friendship Warms My Heart, and Hello Winter for sentiments. So you can choose anything. I'm just going to use good old Warm Winter Wishes. The right way up, apparently. as my sentiment. And of course you could pull from another stamp set, you know, mix and match, use what you got. Okay, I think that looks relatively centered. And you're going to use your etched guides on your Misty lid, and it looks good. And then I'm going to use our rouge ink again for our sentiment. Oh, it got squished. And somehow it got bent. Okay. This is not good, people. Let me show you how to fix this. It's warped. It's not straight by any means. So let me show you how I'd fix this. Okay. I don't know why it did that, because it was stuck down absolutely beautifully. Okay, I'm going to clean our sentiment stamp first. Then, okay, we're going to bring in this because there's enough of a piece on the bottom here. Okay, this is how you fix boo-boos like this. Okay, find a nice strip of paper where you can cut out a strip. We're going to go and bring this magnet down a little closer. Okay, this time make sure your sentiment is straight. Duh. Okay, I'm going to go one more time just to make sure it's nice and juicy. Okay. This is what happens when you rush and you don't look through your Misty at the last second. Okay. We all do this. I know you do. I've done it many times, right? It's like, oh man, it's not straight. Goodness me. And I just spent all that time on the card. It's okay. Problem will be solved. Okay. We're just making this into a strip with our sentiment on it. Okay, let's bring in our card again. Seriously, I know, right? And then all you are is just going to adhere it on, and I'm just going to make it extra fancy schmancy. Look like it was supposed to be that way with some foam tape. And I'm just going to cut a couple of strips off here. Whee! Okay, flip over a little, buddy. Okay. 1. 2. 2 pieces. Okay, peeling off the backer. Okay. I swear to God. Only when I'm live. Like, seriously, people. Okay, they get straight. Oh God, I hope it's straight. See? Like, super easy card. Have fun making the pattern paper background. Do a simple stamped die cut image. You could pop this up too. You could color his scarf to match Paper Pieces scarf. That would be really cute. A simple sentiment and call her done. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Karen. Let's see. Let's make a couple more out of our scraps. We're rounding out about an hour here, so we're doing good. Okay, I'm going to pull out 2 more card bases. We're going to use our bone folder. I just pre-score mine, and I fold them when I need them. And I don't do too many at a time. I don't know. Do you guys do this too? And you have like a kind of a stack of preset card bases. I always make my card bases out of 110-pound white cardstock. Doesn't matter what I'm doing to them. I always make my bases out of the same because I like a heavy weight. I want my card to stand up and not do the old it looks like it has a drinking problem on the shelf. Okay, so we have this little fella, which is pretty cool. I always like the circle ones. They don't call me the circle guru for nothing. Okay, let's adhere this little fella. Whee! And again, just use scraps for putting all your paper pieces down because they don't have to be, it's never going to be seen. So use a piece of copy paper, use a bill that you want to recycle. I don't know if you want to send that to anybody though. Yeah. Okay, we're putting this on. Let's make sure the card opens the right direction. Because golly gee, I don't know if you've been there. Have a card that doesn't open the right direction. Because you put on the back piece incorrectly. Been there, done that. Okay. Alright, see, now we can use our little bearer. Little bearer. You can put him down low or in the middle up high. Let's put him up high so we have room for a sentiment. Good old wet adhesive, super fast. Where would we be without dies? Really? I remember when they first started to become mainstream. It was a wonderful invention for our craft, wasn't it? I'll do sentiment later on that little fella. Okay. And let's go for this piece here, because this was the cutout piece from this one, right? Remember? Twofold? Let's do this sucker popped up. Okay. Good old foam tape. Whee! They're handy having your card bases right. Ready? Hey, Sandy? Are you guys like me? Like, I go through my cards when it's time to send out Christmas cards, and I pick out, like, my, say, 5 top favorite cards, and those ones go to my family. Like, I always pick out a special one for my mom and my sister and my 2 nephews. Are you guys like that too? And then, you know, my not as favorite one cards go to, let's say, non-crafty friends. Let's put it that way. I do like to send cards that I make with certain products to certain people. Yeah, okay. So, we're just plopping this in what I'm hoping is centered. And we could just put a birdie. Yeah, what the heck? We're just putting a birdie on this sucker. Best people get the best cards. That's right. Whee. Okay, this one is like really simple. Oh, glue on the side. Okay. You kissing Santa? No. There we go. And he could put a little foam under his tail, but we're good. And then for this one, I would just stamp something under the bear. And for a little bird, I'd probably just put a sentiment strip on and call it done. Like, literally done. So we have, you know, one more piece to use. That could be used on a 4th card. But, I mean, cards do not have to be way out there, super duper, 10,000 hours made. They don't have to be. Especially if you're doing them for donating, which is a great cause, or you're giving them to like a seniors center locally in your community. You know, just make some nice cards using some fun pattern papers and really simple messages. Yeah. Am I liking this glue? This is my favorite, Karen. Yeah, I've had this one for probably about 1.5 years, and I craft every day, and I use it every day, and it's half full still. Yeah, it's awesome, and I love the fact that it's fine tipped, because if you have like little pieces like a tail or the end of a wing or a beak, you can get glue into that area without too much trouble, right? So yes, I highly recommend this. This is in the store. Definitely get this. This is like my #1 wet adhesive. I highly recommend it. So yeah, just have fun with your pattern papers, especially your scraps. So pull out a pattern paper pack and give it a little shake. Whatever falls out, give yourself a challenge, cut things into strips, make some fun backgrounds, and call it done. Especially for those last minute ones, you know, like, oh my God, I forgot the neighbor. Those cards, you know, like, oh, shoot, I forgot, you know, my boss or the secretary or whatever at school. I forgot the bus driver. Oh no. So, once again, today is day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas. We are giving away our beloved Photo Play Winter Memories stamp set and coordinating die. Sorry, mine's all a mangle because we used ours today. All you're going to do is leave a comment below this video, whether it be live or on the replay, and you too could win this prize for your very own. Don't forget, Photo Play stuff is all on sale today in the shop. And there's lots more sales coming, so make sure you check out the Facebook page, our Instagram page, and make sure you sign up for the newsletter because everything gets put in the newsletter, down to like the itty-bitty details. So if you want to win, leave a comment. And I'm going to pick 4 commenters today. Yes, Wanda, this is a 4 ounce. Yes, you can get a 2 ounce, but I think there's only 4 ounces in the shop. Either one, you're going to get the same needle nose point to it as well. So I'm going to pick 4 winners as soon as I'm done. And all you have to do is send me a private message. You can send it either through the Scrap and Stamp Facebook page, or you can go to my personal page under Alison Cope Israels. If you look in the description, it says published by Alison Cope Israels. If you just hit that name, you can send me a private message with your address there. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will be back next Sunday with some more cards and another scrappy deal for you as well. So I'll see you again next time. Thanks for joining me.